Welcome to the Warrior Legacy Network, where we cut through the noise and talk about what really happens when the uniform comes off. This is about veterans guiding veterans and great Americans who stand beside us, sharing lessons learned, mistakes made, and victories earned, so the next generation doesn't have to figure it out alone. The mission doesn't end with your DD-214, it just changes.
Hey Warriors, I'm Zachary Green, United States Marine Corps veteran, former firefighter, entrepreneur, and one of your co-hosts for the Warrior Legacy Network podcast. This is episode 1, the beginning of something that I certainly hope changes lives. Now, I'd like to get something right out in the open. My time in the Marine Corps, it was short. I wasn't in for 20 years. I didn't retire in uniform. But during those very short years, they left a mark. And when I transitioned out, I had no idea how much I didn't know. Matter of fact, I didn't even know what I didn't know. But what I did have were mentors. They helped me find a place to live. They showed me how to think beyond just getting a job and starting to craft a career. They guided me into hobbies, plugged me into my congregation's young adult programs, and one even introduced me to the woman that would ultimately become my wife. These mentors didn't just help me survive. They shaped my entire post-military life. One of my first mentors taught me that one of the most important lessons I ever received. You don't just walk into your dream job. You build towards it intentionally, deliberately, strategically. He showed me that getting where you want to go means taking a series of roles that build off of each other. You gain experience. You expand your skill set. You grow your network. Each step gets you closer to where you want to be. And finally, I landed my dream job at a big pharmaceutical company, Eli Lilly, working in corporate America. It wasn't a solo climb. I had mentors there who pulled me up because no one climbs that corporate ladder alone. You don't just rise by being great. You rise when people who've been there reach back and pull you forward. And here's something not everyone talks about. Sometimes the mentor gets more out of the relationship than the mentee. Think about the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. One of those steps is to be a sponsor. Why? Because when you guide someone else, you stay grounded, you stay focused, you stay committed to your own growth and healing. Mentorship helps both people. It brings purpose, accountability, and a human connection. Now, I want to pause and honor our Vietnam brothers. They came home to a very different America than we know today. There were no parades. There was no thank you for your service, no 10% discounts at a restaurant. What they got was rejection, anger, shame, and many of them still carry those scars. But imagine the power of those warriors mentoring the next generation. Imagine the wisdom they could pass on, the healing that they could happen, not just for the mentees, but for themselves. That's the mission of the Warrior Legacy Network. And at the heart of that mission is our proprietary mentor matching software. Think of it as like Match.com, but for mentors and mentees. You tell us your goals, your dreams, your hobbies, your location, your life. Mentors do the same. And then a software runs a proprietary algorithm that matches the mentors and mentees with a 98% satisfaction rate. It's already been used in Fortune 500 companies across the country, and it works. But we didn't just stop there. It includes a calendar integration so mentors and the mentee can easily find time to meet. It uses AI to recommend topics for each meeting based on shared goals, challenges, and growth areas. And the Warrior Legacy Network is just that. It's a network. We host regional meetups, group activities, team building experiences, because yes, mentorship is personal, but community is powerful. We don't compete with other different groups out there for veterans, such as companies that do a great job in helping you find a job, or places like the Wounded Warrior Program or the VFW or USO. We're there to help them. We're not in competition with anybody. We're there to help make what those organizations do work even better by making sure that those veterans that are coming out know about those different programs. So it's something even from at the state veteran affairs level to the national level to the different regional groups The Warrior Legacy Network is all meant to work with those different organizations to help them serve our fellow veterans even better. Because when you find your new tribe, a tribe that's not just built on rank, but on resilience, and it's not in uniform, but on shared purpose, that's why this work matters. That's why you matter, because you're not broken. You're not behind. You're not done. You're right where you need to be. You're just on a new mission. And that's why we built the Warrior Legacy Network. It's not a podcast. It's a movement. It's a network. It's what I call the Veteran Readiness Group. Yeah, like the family readiness group your spouse had when you were deployed, but this one's for you. Now, this podcast is packed with real stories from warriors who made the jump, strategies to build purpose beyond a paycheck, civilian allies who walk the talk, and most importantly, to call to lead again. In future episodes, I'm going to be joined by two of my fellow warriors and people that I'm proud to call brothers. The first one is Colonel Rico Player. Colonel Player just retired about a year or two ago from the Marine Corps. His last assignment was down here at MCRD Paris Island, where he was the commanding officer of the headquarters and support battalion. My family and I had just moved down a couple of years ago to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, where I live now. Grew up in Cincinnati, moved from Cincinnati down here. I bumped into Colonel Player at a car show, and we instantly hit off, became great friends, got a chance to do a couple different projects with him as he was wrapping up his tour, his final tour in the Marine Corps as a commanding officer. And when he got out of the Marine Corps, I helped him as a mentor look for that next job, that next calling, those next area. And boy, did he ever do a great job. He ended up working and works to this day with Dr. Phil McGraw from the Dr. Phil Show as one of his chiefs of staffs, and helps him traveling all over the country as they launch their Merit TV network. Pretty incredible. Colonel Player has the honor of being the only active duty Marine ever to win an Emmy. He was the former chief of public affairs for the Marine Corps at the Pentagon. He's a man who's led in both combat and in culture, not to mention a great, energetic guy. You're going to be hearing a lot more from Colonel Player, our co-host, here shortly. The next person I want to introduce is the other co-host, and that is one of my absolute best friends since about 4th or 5th grade, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver Stolle. Now, I can't say he's a veteran because he's not a veteran. He's still serving active duty as a lieutenant colonel with the Army. He's actually right now on the Skill Bridge program with Warrior Enterprises, our parent company. And in the next week, he's actually going to go through his official retirement ceremony and start his terminal leave. Oliver and I, again, met in 4th grade. We both had so much in common, from being kids of a divorced family to having a lot of challenges growing up, getting in trouble at school. We ultimately both ended up at a Catholic high school, even though we're both Jewish. And the Catholic school was tremendous for both of us. It got us grounded. It gave us both the discipline combined with that passion. And the one passion that we always had since a very young age was to serve our country in uniform. Oliver ended up not just serving in the Army as enlisted, but was commissioned. I actually had the honor of actually pinning his lieutenant bars on him at his commissioning ceremony at University of Cincinnati. And if you look over my shoulder here, I guess that would be my left shoulder, you can see a flag that Oliver actually flew over Afghanistan and gave it to me when he was with the 3rd Infantry Division over there. Oliver was awarded the Bronze Star during his time in combat over, I think, 8 different combat tours, 30 years in the Army, closest friend since childhood, and will be joining the ranks of the rest of us civilians here just in the next couple weeks. Oliver is definitely a guy you want in the room when it counts. He's going to be not only our fellow co-host, but he's also going to be the new president of Warrior Enterprises. But today, on our first episode, it's just me. I want to dig a little deeper because it's not just about finding work. It's about rediscovering worth. It's about waking up every day with a sense of purpose that matches the one you had when you were in uniform. It's about transitioning from mission-focused living to meaning-focused leadership. And that doesn't just happen overnight. You need guides. You need a community. You need someone who will challenge you, invest in you, and help figure out where you are without the stripes, the ribbons, or the orders. That's what mentorship did for me, and that's why I want this network to do the same thing for you. Imagine if every transition veteran had a team waiting for them, not just to hand them a business card or point them to a job board, but to say, hey, let's build a life together. That's the kind of world we're building. And I want to make myself crystal clear. This job isn't just a job for veterans. If you're a civilian who wants to support the troops, here's your chance to step up. Hire them, mentor them, invite them into your churches, into your lives, into your networks. Because thanking us is nice, but serving us, that's how you show up. So let's wrap up here. If you've already walked the path, be a mentor. If you're just starting out, find a mentor. And if you're a civilian, don't just thank a veteran for their service, serve them. Because the job of the military isn't just to make great Marines, soldiers, airmen, sailors, coasties, and guardians. It's to make great Americans. And that job, it doesn't end when we hang up the uniform. It evolves, it deepens, and it expands. So I'd like to ask you as we wrap up here to subscribe and share. You can join us on our website of warriorleader.us/mentorship. Matter of fact, there's actually a form there that we would appreciate if you could fill out that kind of documents your experience as you transitioned out of the military. This isn't just for veterans, it's for spouses too, the entire family, because a lot of times the spouses are the ones that struggle the most during your active duty journey, because a lot of them are underemployed, having to move every couple of years to a different duty station. So with that, look forward to our next couple of episodes, and Semper Fi, Zach Green's out.
If you've worn the uniform and figured out how to make the jump into civilian life, or if you're getting ready to PCS to the civilian world, there's somebody right now who needs your story. Go to warriorleader.us/mentorship. Share your journey. Help the next one in line. That's what this is all about.